Thanos doesn't play no games.
Love you, girl, do you feel the same? I don't wanna play games, no games.
Hashtag Team Thanos.
Hi guys, welcome to the NNA podcast. Today we have watched Infinity War and we're going to talk about it. We've got loads of talking points here. I've done loads of research just for this about the Infinity Gauntlet in the comics and stuff, so we can come and give you guys loads of information about it and hopefully really enhance your experience having watched the film. There will be spoilers, obviously, so be aware of that. We'll probably try and leave the first 10 minutes spoiler free and just review the film. So if you want, you can click away after that bit. But after you've seen it, come back and listen to the rest because there's going to be loads here for you.
You're going to make the first 10 minutes spoiler free as a big ask of me.
Okay, so let's just do like a review for like 10 minutes and say like how we found the film whilst trying not to spoil anything. So I reckon we could do that.
Okay, here's my review. Thanos doesn't play no games. Kicks ass, takes names, doesn't play no games. That's all that needs to be said.
So you really enjoyed him as a villain then?
Yeah, I think they done him right. You compare him to someone like Steppenwolf, they done Thanos right. And they're meant to be the same kind of people, like the aliens that go around and conquer planets and all that stuff. But one's done so wrong and one's done so right.
Yeah. Yeah, I was worried they were going to sort of Steppenwolf Thanos, or even like... Because, I mean, we've heard about him in the shadows beforehand, but we never really had any details.
Yeah.
And it'd be easy for them to be like, yeah, he's just like a dude who's like strong in it. But instead, they actually fleshed him out a bit more. They gave us something. It sort of helped us understand his motivations in the film, which I thought was really, really cool, especially because we haven't seen it with some other villains in the MCU beforehand, where they've been kind of like almost cardboard villains. But I mean, they have motivations, but they're not really like fleshed out that much. But Thanos is really has a massive presence in the film. He's essentially the protagonist.
I think, one, it helps that it's been building up to him. So they've mentioned him in films before, and it's been leading up to this. So we was always getting ready for him. And two, it helps that some characters have already interacted with him in the past, like Drax and Gamora. So, like in this film, there's so many people. Everyone's fighting for screen time. So you don't necessarily need Thanos on screen to know what he's about. Like, Gamora knows what he's about, and through her, what she says about him, you have more of an idea of who Thanos is and what he's about.
Yeah, I felt like they have a massive cast, 60 characters. I don't think anything has been done like that before. We've got 60 characters who've all been fleshed out in their own individual movies or series or whatever. And yet, when they're brought onto the screen, because we've spent that time with them, we know who they are, we know what they're about, it really works. Even just have them in like little vignettes. Even if they only have like 10 minutes on screen in the actual film, you know who they are, you know what they're about, you know why they're there. You don't really need the extra elaboration. They handled that really, really well. A lot better than I expected, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
I actually preferred this film to the first Avengers and the second Avengers, personally.
Okay. I haven't thought about it like that. It's funny, I was on a Tumblr yesterday. I don't know if this qualifies as spoilers, but I was on Tumblr yesterday looking at Infinity War tags, and the general reaction seems to be people were invested, people were entertained, but people were also very depressed.
I think that's kind of what they're going for. I mean, the next film comes out in like pretty much bang on a year.
Yeah,
So,
I didn't realise it was coming out so fast.
And you realise the film is essentially one of two halves, and it feels that way, even though it's fucking nearly 3 hours long. For my buck, like, the reviews were a bit worse than the first Avengers film, which was like in the 90s on Rotten Tomatoes. Age of Ultron was like 70. This is like 85. But for me, like, what they were trying to do is on such a grander scale, and they accomplished so much of it. Throughout the film, I was constantly entertained. The pacing was good. Even though it's a very long film, it's just blow after blow after blow, and everything that happens feels eventful. You're never bored, you're never waiting, you're never like, ugh, do we need to see this right now? There's like those moments are like very, very few in between. It's very, very fast paced and rapid.
There's two things. I do think there are some moments where I got a bit bored. I think the middle part was a bit. For example, for me, it was Thor going to the place where to find a guy, the dwarf who can build the weapons. That whole thing I didn't particularly care for. I mean, yeah, it contributes to the story, but it didn't really do anything for me. But what I wanted to say before was this whole MCU thing. I think this is 10 years now. This whole thing is just amazing. The fact that they've pulled it off relatively well. I wouldn't say Infinity War is perfect, but it's a pretty good movie. And considering what they're trying to do, overall, they've done a fantastic job. The whole thing's just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it is pretty amazing. I don't think we've ever seen a film before where there's been anything like this. I mean, when you consider DC struggled to get 5 heroes in the same movie, they've shoehorned 60 into this one.
Yeah.
It's such a contrast.
You know what I just read literally before we start recording? This could be wrong, but I believe I just saw it on Wikipedia. Infinity War cost... I don't even know how this works, actually, but Infinity War cost the same amount of money to produce as Justice League.
No way. No way.
I could be wrong, but I think I just read that on Wikipedia. And if not the same, like relatively close. And it's like, really? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because of Justice League, they had to reshoot a lot of stuff.
There was loads of CGI in Infinity War, though, like loads more than Justice League.
Well, I don't think you're taking Superman's lack of a mustache into consideration there.
True. I never knew when I watched Justice League. I was like, why does his face look funny?
Honestly, did you know what? Did I tell you I was drunk when I watched Justice League?
I just assumed you were.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was drunk while I watched Justice League, so I didn't notice it. But I was 100% sober watching Infinity War. I'm going to give myself a round of applause since you're not doing it for me. I don't know.
One day sober, congratulations. Oh, you're hungover. Damn it. So close. So close.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I really appreciated how like all the characters had fairly decent roles. I mean, there are a few characters whose roles were a bit underwhelming, but by and large, you got to see their personalities interact, and it was really interesting seeing characters who you've never seen in the same scene before interact, like Thor meets Guardians of the Galaxy, and that's really interesting to watch.
That's probably the best one.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Probably the best one. Why are you changing your voice? Deeper. No, I'm not. You've done it again.
That was so good. You're just clearly winding up as well. And it was interesting to see all the characters hold their weight with each other as well. I did kind of feel some characters' roles were a bit underwhelming.
Yeah, I agree.
Some of the bigger characters, especially a lot of the Wakanda stuff.
Yeah.
Which is obviously in the trailers. Like, that was a bit like, okay.
I read somewhere that, I could be wrong about this as well, when they were shooting Black Panther, they shot Infinity War Strike right afterwards.
Oh, really?
And Black Panther performed well better than Marvel expected. So they basically didn't realize how popular the film would be. Hence, his role is kind of minor in this film. That's what I read online.
I mean, I kind of felt like Captain America had a bit of a minor role as well, and his crew were kind of like almost there for the sake of it. Like, it didn't really get much elaboration on anything. Because, I mean, he comes back in essentially the Nomad persona with a beard and, like, the stars. You know, he's all in black and stuff. But you don't really get to hear about what he's been doing or anything. It's just like, okay, we're going to Wakanda now, guys. Yeah,
I think they've been, off the grid for, like, a number of years. I remember Falcon saying something like, yeah, the hotel rooms weren't very nice. But, yeah, I get your point. I see your point.
Okay. So we've crossed the 10-minute mark now, so if you're afraid of spoilers, you better clear off.
Thanos fucks everybody. Everybody.